talking about buying land from the government. If you would, subscribe, comment, like, let me know what you think. Thumbs up, thumbs down, take whatever you can give me. Check out the whole video. Got some good ideas here on government land, buying land from the government. Okay, so check it out. You're looking for deals. You're looking for vacant land deals. You're looking for houses to buy, to flip, to wholesale, whatever you're doing. Here's one thing maybe you haven't thought about looking at is government property for sale. And this isn't like some crazy infomercial. I do buy quite a bit of property off the MLS from real estate agents, through private sellers, through sending out postcards, letters, things like that. But if you want to look for something that not a lot of people are looking at, from my experience, is government property for sale. And it's not like huge, big sales where there's just property everywhere. But, every once in a while I'll come across one piece of land or one piece of surplus property or a seizure or something like that, or tax foreclosures. And, it's from some government agency, from some municipality, from cities, from like special districts, like a water district, school districts have, real estate. All these government entities own land in some form or fashion. A lot of them are using it for something. They built a school on it. They built a bus barn, a warehouse, or a water district bought some property to run water lines through, or a university had a piece of property, donated it to it, or they had plans to do something with this property at one time and things changed. New city councils came in, new governments, budget constraints. No telling what the reason is, but there's quite a bit of reasons why a government entity, whatever it may be, is going to have surplus land. And at some point they come together and say, look, we don't need this. We don't see any future need for this. Let's go ahead and sell it, get it off the books so we don't have to maintain it anymore. There was a city not far from me that had a surplus of parks, residential parks, playgrounds, stuff like that, or land designated for parks at some point. And they said, look, we're not going to maintain this anymore. It's becoming a hassle to maintain. And they sold it. It was, in the double digits as far as the number of parks that they had that they wanted to sell. And so they just started selling parks, in these residential neighborhoods, so, some home builder, may want to buy that, or no telling, but it's definitely worth a look. And that's where you can see it, and a lot of times I find these properties, there's public notices. If you're focused on a particular area, particular city, particular county, parish, town, whatever you got going on, they probably got a website. You can go to the request for bids, request for proposals. Sometimes they'll do a public notice like in a newspaper or something like that, or at a courthouse. Tax foreclosures. Sometimes, they have tax foreclosure sales, but sometimes those properties don't get bought and they may become, the property or under the control of some school district or some city or whatever the taxing entity is. And you can look up those in the public notices and courthouses, or those individual, school districts or whatever. So it's a pretty good idea. And another nice thing about them is there's not a lot of people that are bidding on these, from my experience. And half the people, it seems like a lot of times there's an audience there just to check it out, and then there's people there to actually bid on it, and so, especially if you've got the cash and you can take the deal down, a lot of these are just, cash deals. They don't want to deal with a lot of contingencies as far as, rezoning contingencies or financing contingencies. So if you've got a need or you've got a buyer or something where you see a potential for profit, these might be a good place to go look, so that's kind of how I do it. The competition's kind of light, so I like to go in there and just, if there's a use or there's a potential for profit, I go into these deals and try and buy them, so they do them in-person auctions, sealed bids. A lot of the sealed bids you can include in your bid, if you want to get a contingency on financing, or you have a pre-approval letter or something like that, you can even include that in your sealed bid. You can write up, I'm offering, this much, $5,000, contingent on financing. Here's a pre-approval letter from the bank, or 100,000 or $1 million, or whatever the deal is, So those are kind of nice things about sealed bid auctions. And then there's a lot of them are online auctions. I've seen law enforcement agencies that have seized property. Sometimes they'll do an online auction. I've seen advertisements on LoopNet and stuff like that for the property, and it's it's like, hey, there's a live auction this date for this property. So that's some things to check out. Another source of, you know, deals and leads and stuff like that on these bids and these government-owned properties. So that's kind of, you know, just a thought, just an ideal if you're looking for properties, if you're looking for vacant land. And it's not always vacant land. You know, a lot of times there's dilapidated houses. I've seen commercial properties. I've seen acreage, you know, 5, 10, 15 acre properties. Like I said, there was parks on one of them that were just city parks that I think they had like 12, 15, I don't know, it was less than 20, but it was more than 10, you know, individual parks that were for sale, you know, and they're all different sizes. Some of them were well over an acre, some of them were under an acre, but you never know. So, you know, look, check it out. You know, you can call the city secretaries, call the, you know, municipalities and stuff and see, you know, or you may see a piece of property that is owned by the city and you want to buy it and they haven't done anything with it for a while. Maybe somebody donated to them. You can contact them and say, hey, are you guys looking to sell this? And they may say, yeah, we kind of are, you know. So, you know, you got to get out and talk to people. You got to get out and look around and find these deals, you know. And just because it's a government agency or something like that, you know, these people are elected officials. They work for you, you know, the citizens. So go in there and talk to them. Say, look, this is what I do. This is what I'm looking for. What can we do? You know, and they may say, you know, kick rocks, get out of here. Or they may say, hey, we'll look into it. There you go. At least they know. Or they may say, well, the city's not going to sell that, but I got a piece of property over here. Why don't you buy it from me? There you go. You got you a lead. You didn't even know it was there. Nobody else knew it was there either. So that's a good way to get in there and scoop it up, you know. So that's kind of my little lesson on government-owned properties. I've got one coming up that I'm going to put a bid on. It's commercial property. It's like 1/4 of an acre, you know, but it's zoned for commercial. It's inside the city. I'll give you an update video on that, hopefully sometime down the road. It's got city utilities. You know, these are some other things that you want to look into before. And this one's a sealed bid auction. So, you know, I just got to write on a piece of paper, write a letter, put it in an envelope, seal it up, lick the envelope, tape it up, mark it on the outside, and submit it to the city. And wait for I think they're going to have a city council meeting or something like that, open all the bids that they get, and go from there, you know. So they may take it, they may not, but, you know, just an opportunity. Got me thinking about some of the other government-owned land, government-owned properties that I've seen. Wanted to bring that to you. So subscribe, like, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thumbs up, thumbs down, take whatever you can give me.